Welcome to the next podcast on Above Human Disagreement, where we try to elevate the mind to see if we don't all want the same thing. Super excited about our guest. Her name is Ulrika Karlsson, and she's an intuitive empath with a history of being depressed and suicidal. I'm reading from her bio here. She came to a point where she had to choose between life and death. Ulrika's going to share her experiences and embodied wisdom from her heart with nearly 30 years of experience in traditional Western and Eastern holistic disciplines. Her work as a spiritual leader, international author, reader of Akashic records, and a yoga teacher, therapist, take her around the globe to work with men and women of different ages from all fields of life. The essence of Ulrika's work is to increase consciousness and guide you into your heart. Freaking love it. Her latest book, Holy Fucking Sacred Water, The Secret Connections to Everything, and The Sacred Soul, A Divine Evolution Through Space and Time. This gal speaks my language. Are here to make a difference in your ascension process. So with no further ado, we would like to welcome our guest.
So much, Matt, for being here. I appreciate it too. And also thank you who's tuning in and listening to this episode.
You've got titles in books, one along the lines of Suicide to a Spiritual Teacher.
Yes.
Can you help us have some insight into your journey?
Thank you for asking. So I have had severe sleeping disorders for decades, and eventually I slept so poorly. So obviously, I developed other dysfunctionalities as well. My cognitive abilities were really disempowered, and I had panic attacks. I had depression. I was really full of anxieties, etc., etc. But my sleeping disorders came to a point where I only slept 15 minutes per night. And every night at 2:47 a.m., I woke up from nightmares where I was being murdered, tortured, slaughtered, and this was like splatter movies. There was blood everywhere. And so I wake up every night totally disorientated, with a heart pounding and a stale taste of blood in my mouth. And then the first thing that I see is the alarm clock, 2:47 a.m. So this, my first book is actually called 2:47 a.m. and it's my autobiography, how I reclaimed myself and sort of moved myself out of the depressed state and to where I am now. But it was a long journey, and one of my aims with my work and with this book in particular is also to inspire others who might suffer from mental illness and say that there's a way out, and it might get worse before it gets better. But the way I see it is that all of us, each and one of us, we have all kinds of emotions that are suppressed. We have traumas from this lifetime, and as a yogi also, I believe in reincarnation, as energy never dies. It's just take different shapes and forms. So not only do we have traumas and suppressed stress and emotions from this lifetime, but also from previous lifetimes. And I came to a state where I literally had to choose every day between, continue to live the life that I had at the time, which actually was no life at all, or to just end it. And one of my big turning points was when at the time I was married with 2 young children, and I told my husband that I was so tired. And he didn't know that every night I was being murdered next to him in my dreams. And when I woke up, that I had only slept 15 minutes. I just told him I was depleted, I was tired, and my mental abilities and so on was also very much at stake, because I was very sensitive to light and to sound. So I was like, a drug addict, like twisting every time that I heard like a cell phone ringing or anything like that. So I go out to the archipelago telling my husband that I just need to rest. I go out there and take a walk. It's a beautiful winter's day. I am from Sweden, so it was a lot of snow. And the sun is shining, and I have this sensation in my body that, something is rising within me, and I don't know what it is. So it scares the shit out of me. So I'm having eating disorders at the time. So I just increase my pace, thinking that I'm going to burn some calories off. And then I can feel it's like a volcano inside of me that wants to erupt, and it terrifies the shit out of me. So I try to move and walk even faster, and then I just feel this immense pain in my heart. It's like a knife straight through my heart. And I remembered thinking, oh my gosh, I'm having a heart attack. I'm going to die here in the forest. I didn't even get to say goodbye to my kids. Nobody know that I'm here. And this pain is so cruciating. So I'm grabbing hold of my heart, trying to sort of press it inwards, because it felt like it was going to scatter into a million pieces. So I fall down into the snow, and there I hear like a snap from within, and I'm so scared, lying there in fetus position, clenching my heart. And if even possible, this pain in my heart is increasing, and then it's like this volcano erupts, and all of a sudden I just hear, horrifying, like primal screams. It sounds like a dying animal, and there are growls and moans and howling, and then I realize that this is me. This is my voice coming from deep within, in a voice that I didn't even recognize. So I lay there for many, many hours, and I started to cry, just like, like oceans of tears just streaming down on my face, lying there in the snow. And then when I came to my senses a couple of hours later, still clenched in the fetus position, for the first time in my life, I was really empty. It was really still in my head. I didn't have any, of these, the Buddhists call it the monkey mind. So it was very still, very peaceful. All my senses were enhanced. I could see the dark shapes and forms in the pitch black wood where I was. I could hear the snowflakes falling. And for the first time, I encountered what I, call source, or whatever you like to call it. It was like, the best way I can describe it, it was like expansion, stillness in expansion. And it was so peaceful within. And this was the first time that I experienced that in my life. So this is one of my great turning points, to witness, to face, and to transform all my suppressed emotions, my traumas, So from there on, it was a life like a roller coaster, because the more traumas you have, the more stress you have suppressed, the more you can transform it into high states of consciousness. The more access you also have to your spirit and to your soul. So I did a lot of soul searching, and here I am.
So knowing now what you've been through, do you see it all as it had a purpose?
Yes.
Now, do you feel like you clearly understand the purpose and that gives you peace?
For sure. And this is also what I guide my people, my clients to, because we are in the Western countries, we are so taught not to be in our emotions, that we are always distracting ourselves, we are numbing ourselves, we are keeping ourselves busy, running around in the hamster wheel. But this only upholds the unconscious programs that each and one of us have.
Absolutely.
So for me, I've tried different strategies throughout all my life. I've been doing heavy, exercising. I've been, partying a lot with alcohol. I've used sex. We used work. I've used so many things to distract and numb me. And there's no really, like shortcut. You really have to, if you want to have access to more of you, access to more of your consciousness, if you want to heal on a soul level and in your cells, then you have to do the inner work yourself. So I only teach what I've done for myself because I know it works.
Right. Do you believe that those that are lost in the darkness, and again, your descriptions of the dreams you had and the sleepless nights and the horror stories, those that are caught in that darkness, do you believe we have to reach for them? We'll have to go find them and grab them?
I believe it's like, as a yogi, they have a saying that whenever you're ready, the teacher will show up. Because
Okay.
if you have hit the rock bottom, if you
Mhm.
are, on the verge of committing suicide, as I was, and then one day a friend of mine, she sent me a link, yoga for depressed people. So
Mhm.
I entered this link and I entered the program. So I truly believe that the universe is working in a much more divine way and divine order than we can possibly grasp with our limited, human minds,
You
with,
agreed,
with our
agreed.
egos. So I truly believe that we don't have to go out and find them. They will find you.
It's a timing thing with the universe.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
And when
Now,
you are ready to shift your life, to transform your life, to move yourself out of the depressed state or dark place that maybe you unconsciously have put yourself into, then you will connect with the right people. You will listen to this podcast and hear that there's maybe one sentence that the guest is saying that is resonating with you. And then, you just follow the crumbs. And there's
yes,
a
yes,
red
right,
thread. Yeah,
right, right. Yeah. So you're basically saying we don't necessarily have to reach for them, but that portal has to be available. And when the timing's right, they'll see the portal.
exactly.
Right. So now, through your spiritual journey, okay, see if I'm describing it accurately. It seems like you have, through your own path, created kind of like a tunnel or a spiritual portal to understand it. Like you solved the piece of the puzzle down here in this world, and you've got a portal to the truth as you see it.
Yes.
And as a spiritual teacher and a guide, you're basically reaching to people saying, listen, let me show you the portal I went through, right? Come with me, and I'll show you what I've learned.
Yes, actually, I guide people back into themselves because the portals that we are talking about are in each and one of us. But
Got it.
most of us, we are looking on the outside. We want to have more money. We want to be more successful. We want you to come and save me.
Mhm.
We don't want to do the work ourselves. So my job here is to guide you in your ascension process and your recovery by bringing you back into your own body, into your heart, to release all
Mhm.
of these stress and tensions and traumas that you're carrying. And then you will know. Then you will know your way. And I'm also a reader of the Akashic records. I do karma clearings. And then we can also see that each and one of us, we have, as I said, we have lived past lives, and we
Mhm.
have all done negative actions in past lives that is still affecting us in this lifetime, with a lot
Right.
of unconscious programs, vows, bargains, etc. So in this lifetime we might make choices, over and over and over again. It's like the universe way to say, this is your lesson, hey, take a look at
Mhm.
this, because we know that there's no growth when you are in your comfort zone, right? So the
Right. Absolutely.
universe nudges you to go out of your comfort zone, so you keep getting your lessons until you've learned them.
Right. And all of benevolent design, all
Yes,
for
it
our
is.
own good.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Even though it doesn't
Um,
feel like it when you're in the midst of it, it feels like you're totally alone and you're buried in a dark space, and that you're lonely, separated. But that's not the truth, because actually it might be that you are a seed that have been planted so you can thrive and become a more beautiful plant than before. And also the word like depressed, if you listen to the word, you can sort of see that it can also mean deep rest, right?
mhm, mhm,
Like a
mhm.
deep rest for body,
Right.
mind, and soul. So this is like a uterus, like a metaphor
Mhm.
of the uterus where you can grow if you choose to.
Right. So why would a benevolent creator and for our own good permit such inconceivable hardship? Inconceivable hardship. Again, it's for our own growth, and this difficulty makes us the people we are. We don't learn, we grow more through the bitch than the beach in this life. But some of the suffering is just insurmountable. And
It
to
is.
wake up and realize it was all for my own good, it seems a bit unnecessary. So, do you believe that this depression and this darkness by which we can fall is truly, truly in our best interest?
I truly do. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Because we know that challenges and hardships that we face is actually disguised gifts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because our as souls, we are so much bigger than these bodies. We are eternal, we are limitless, we are
Mm-hmm.
high frequent, in
Mm-hmm.
our original divine state of being.
Right.
But we are not aligned to our souls. We're not aligned to spirit. We're not aligned to who we are. And in the Western societies, and actually over the globe, we are living lifestyles that is not sustainable.
Right.
We are not sustainable in our own lives, how we treat ourselves. As we said, we numb ourselves, we work too much, we drink too much, we use too much drugs and medications, we eat too much, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not aligned with who we truly are on a soul level. And this is the universe way to correct our path, to correct
Mm-hmm.
us into the more aligned path. And here is the thing, when I have healed, I have access to much more consciousness. I have access to much more light, to more love. And from this space, then I transmit it out into collective consciousness. And this means that each and one of us, with our deep programming, 95% deep programming running in our unconscious mind, we are unconsciously transmitting out, our programs into the collective consciousness. And that's why we have such a fucked up world. You just take a look how the world is. We're polluting Mother Earth. And this book here, it's called Holy Fuck and Sacred Water.
Yep.
The secret connections to everything. So here we write about not only we pollute the outer water, the oceans and lakes, etc. We pollute our inner water. We know that we contains over 75% of water. It's in our fascia, it's, in our spinal fluids. So we are so much water, but we pollute our inner water by the way we live, the stress we have, the work we do, not being aligned to who we are on a soul level. And on top of that, in our DNA, which also contains water, our cells contains water. There we have a lot of stress and trauma from previous lifetimes stored. So we all have been perpetrators and we all have been victims. And these memories are lingering in your water. And that makes it polluted.
Yeah, no, it makes complete sense. Makes complete sense. Okay, let me ask you this question because you segued the first book is in terms of spiritual growth. The second book seems to take a little different edge, identifying something that you believe is a possible injustice or something wrong. Do you believe as human beings in this endeavor, there's an obligation to fight for what's right?
I truly do, yes.
You do.
Because again, like I know that I've been a witch for many lifetimes. I know that I've been killed at stakes, I've been drowned, etc., and etc. And all these experiences, all these lessons are also residing in our DNA, in our water. So I think that our origin as souls, as high frequent energetic souls, we are good, we are love. But then we have, I'm just gonna, then we have polluted ourselves for thousands of years, by greed, by power over, manipulation, etc., etc. And this is what we see in the world today. And this means that our original divine state of being is good. It's pure love from source. But for thousands of years, it's been, we've been brainwashed and we've been programmed. And the water that I was just talking about is so polluted. So many of us have lost to do good because there's always an intent or an agenda behind it. But I truly believe that the more you resolve your inner polluted water, the more you transform, the more you rise in your own consciousness and your frequency, the more good you want to do.
Absolutely beautiful. And I want to, the water analogy is absolutely spectacular. I love it. We are all water. Everything's water.
We are.
Yes.
And most of us, we
And
also
if you
have.
pollute that water,
Exactly.
yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
I like it.
And these pollutions, when I go to the toilet and I pee, then I pee out my stress, my traumas, my medications, my pollutions into the water. And then it goes, through some pipes. And then you, on your end, you turn your tap on and then you drink it. So that's why it's so important to clear out our inner water and to clear out all the pollutions, so we can have access to these gifts and these lessons learned from this lifetime and previous lifetime, which is in our DNA. And so you asked me, this is like the sacred soul, a divine evolution through time and space. And so this is our souls. We are living in really intense times, and it is the nudging of our souls for you to remember who you are. You are not a human being. You are a soul having a human experience. So again, the universe is nudging us to evolve a divine evolution through time and space, and to reclaim who we are on a soul level. And this is my firmest and truest belief, that if each and one of us were aligned to our soul's divine essence, then the world will be such a, more beautiful and loving and compassionate world. We wouldn't see these struggles, these wars that we see today, because these struggles and these wars exist within us, unknowingly stored in the water.
Couldn't agree more. I love it. Now, in terms of the masses or more people understanding the way you've described it, we just got the 10-minute notice there.
Okay, yeah.
The more people, I'm sorry, can you see me? There you go. The more people, okay, that in other words, there's a theory that says, yes, if we can awaken one mind at a time, at some point we reach something called the tipping point, and then we have this great awakening. Okay. So when you think in terms of the great awakening, is that a pipe dream, or is that something that could actually happen?
It is happening.
Okay, so it is in the process of happening. Souls are becoming more and more awakened. Okay, what is the obstacle for these souls to become awakened? Is it deception? What is it that they have to get through to become awakened?
It is the grip of our big egos. It is
ourselves.
one piece of the puzzles, because our egos, I write about it here, our egos are here designed to keep us safe. Our egos are here for our survival, right? But so it keeps us in fear and lack perspectives.
Got it. Yes.
The ego holds tight and clings tight to our trauma and don't want to release it, because it says like, oh, this is for higher good. But the soul is not about survival. The soul is about thriving. The soul wants you to thrive. So the thing that we are seeing in the world today, and I also want to mention like 2020, when there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened, was actually the year of the heart. 2020 was the year of the heart, where we could choose as free souls, because we are, each and one of us, we are like pixels from divine source in our unique expression and frequency. So if you are a free soul, that means that you always have a free choice. So each and one of us, we could choose the love perspective, which the universe threw at us as outer challenges. But most of us, we didn't grab the beat. We chose fear and lack perspectives. And this is the year 2023. Right now is the year where we are about to connect to our spirit and to our soul even more. So we're going to have more things thrown upon us in the outer realities, which can be like a trampoline for individual growth and to grow the collective consciousness. And I also want to add, like most of us, we are only looking in one, we have one perspective. We are looking in one angle, 1 degree, but we know that the circle has 360 degrees, right? So what is going on? If I'm only looking here, I'm only looking at mainstream media, what is going on? What is going on in the other 359 degrees? So I'm missing out on the other 359. What is going on there? And it's each and one of us responsibility to look around in 360 degrees.
So I agree wholeheartedly there. I think there's a moral obligation that comes with this gig that says we need to do our part. Now, in departing here, Ulrika, can you please tell our listeners where they can find your portal, where they can get your books, where they can follow you? Into an important distinction you made, and I love it when I was saying, is there a portal that you found that we can come through? And you made it clear, no, the portal is within us.
Exactly.
That's why that's beautiful. Tell us where we can find you and get more information, please.
Thank you, Matt. So my website is www.ulliskarlsson.com, and that is ULLISKARLSSON.com. ulliskarlsson.com. Maybe you can add it in the link also so people see.
I will, for sure.
And I guide you back into your heart and to an increased consciousness, either through doing your karma clearings, working from the perspective of the soul, or from the perspective of yoga and yoga therapy to work with your body, because we know that the soul partially lives in your body. It's stored in the water, the polluted water. There you find parts of your soul. So please connect with me. And I always also say that if there's like one word or one sentence that I say that resonates with you, then I have paid back my karma, and the circle is closed. Because when I was suicidal, I listened to Oprah Winfrey, and at the time there was somebody there who said something. I don't know who it was or what was said. It just made me not to commit suicide, and here I am bringing, doing ripple effects, and so it's like paying it forward.
Oh, absolutely. And in my world, it's pretty simple to spot an angel. And that's somebody who spends their life trying to help others escape the darkness. And you are truly, truly an angel. It was an absolute pleasure. I hope to speak with you again soon.
And it was a pleasure for me to be here with you also, Matt. And thank you for listening. And I also hope that we can reconnect. Thank you so much for today.
My pleasure, my friend. Take care.
Take care.